Hello. Today we are going to talk about the microbial nutrition and types of organisms based on the nutrition requirements. So you can categorize the nutritional types of the organisms into two. One is macroelements and the other one is the micronutrients. The macroelements are the elements which are required by the organism in a larger quantities like carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and iron. Whereas micronutrients, they are also called as trace elements because the concentration that is required for the growth is very minute and in very trace amounts. For example, manganese, zinc, cobalt, molybdenum, nickel, and copper. So these elements act as a very trace elements, but they are essential for the organism to multiply. So these microelements generally will be supplied in water that is added in a medium to the organisms. So all organisms, irrespective whether they require the macro or micro, they require carbon source, hydrogen source, oxygen, and electron source. So based upon the requirement, whether they can synthesize their own food material or whether they depend upon the organic carbon source or whether they depend upon the carbon dioxide as a sole source of carbon, you can categorize these organisms, all living organisms, into two types. One is heterotrophs, another one is autotrophs. So in case of heterotrophs, they use the organic molecules as a carbon source, which often serves as a source of energy to the organism. Whereas in case of autotrophs, they use the carbon dioxide as a sole source or the principal carbon source. And they must obtain the energy from other sources. So the types of sources, once we go through the types of carbon, energy, and electron source with respect to autotrophs and heterotrophs. In case of autotrophs, the carbon source is, as we have discussed, it is the carbon dioxide, which acts as a sole source of carbon. Whereas in case of heterotrophs, the reduced or preformed organic molecules from other organisms can be utilized by the heterotrophs. And coming to the energy source, organisms can utilize light as a source of energy. So you call them as phototrophs. And some organisms can go for utilizing the oxidization of this organic or inorganic compounds as a source of energy. Then you call them as chemotrophs. And based upon the electron source, the reduced inorganic molecules are utilized as a source of electrons in case of lithotrophs, and organic molecules can be utilized as a source of electrons in case of organotrophs. So based upon the energy source, as we have discussed, the organisms can be grouped once again as phototrophs and chemotrophs. So phototrophs are the ones which utilize light as a source of energy, and chemotrophs, they obtain energy from the oxidation of the chemical compounds. And based upon the electron source, the lithotrophs use the reduced inorganic substances, and organotrophs obtain electrons from the organic compounds. Based upon the carbon source, energy source, electron source, we can further categorize the organisms into major nutritional types as photolithotrophic autotrophs, photoorganoheterotrophs, chemolithoautotrophs, chemolithoheterotrophs, and chemoorganoheterotrophs. Okay, so photolithoautotrophs, in which the photolithotropic autotropic organisms which utilize carbon dioxide as a source of carbon, and because they are autotrophic, the energy source is light, that is photo, and as they are lithotropic organisms, the electron source will be from the inorganic electrons. The group of organisms which belong to this nutritional type are majorly the purple and green sulfur bacteria and cyanobacteria. Coming to the next group of nutritional type of organisms, photo-organo-heterotrophic organisms. Okay? Photo-organo-heterotrophs. That is, the carbon source in case of the heterotrophic organisms will be the organic carbon, but sometimes they can also go for utilizing carbon dioxide as a sole source of carbon in case of heterotrophs. And the energy source will be light as they are photo, and electron source will be from the organic electrons as they are heterotrophic organisms. Okay. And the representative group of organisms that belong to this nutritional type is purple non-sulfur bacteria, green non-sulfur bacteria. The third nutritional type of the organism is chemolithoautotrophs. Chemolithoautotrophs. So the source of carbon here, as they are autotrophic organisms, again the source of carbon will be carbon dioxide, and as they are chemo, the energy source will be the inorganic chemicals, and the lithotropic, so the electron source here will be inorganic electrons. Okay, so the representative organisms that belong to this chemolithoautotropic group is sulfur oxidizing bacteria, in which hydrogen oxidizing bacteria can be included, or methanogenic organisms can be included, nitrifying bacteria, iron oxidizing bacteria, etc. And the fourth nutritional type of microbes is chemolithoheterotrophs. So in case of chemolithoheterotrophs, they differ from chemolithoautotrophs with respect to their source of carbon. So in this chemolithoheterotrophic organisms, they are also called as mixotrophs. And here the source of carbon will be the organic carbon because they are heterotrophic, and they are also having, the heterotrophs also has an ability to realize the carbon dioxide sometimes in the absence of organic carbon as a source of carbon here. And energy source will be the inorganic chemicals because they are chemo, and the electron source is inorganic electrons as they are lithotropic organisms. So the representative group of bacteria that includes in lithotropic heterotrophs or mixotropic organisms is or sulfur oxidizing bacteria. And the fifth group of the nutritional type is chemo-organoheterotrophs. And in this chemo-organoheterotrophs, the carbon source, as you all well known, and we have discussed earlier, the carbon source will be the organic carbon, and the energy source will be the organic chemical source, and electron source is the organic electron source, and the representative group of organisms that belong is most non-photosynthetic microbes, which includes most of the pathogens, fungi, protists, and many archaea group of organisms. So these are the nutritional types of organisms based upon the type of carbon source, type of energy, electron source that they will be utilizing. Thank you.